Hey everybody, my name is Rydo, and today we're going to start a series on Assassin's Creed 2. Now, I would like to show the intro video trailer that will play on this screen. So we're going to talk about Assassin's Creed 2 for a little while, as it is going to take a little while for it to start playing. Much like Assassin's Creed 1, that intro video promises a lot. And as we go through the game, we'll see how many of those promises are fully fulfilled and how many of them aren't. The first game actually promised quite a lot, in that there was a crossbow in the trailer. There was no crossbow in Assassin's Creed 1. There was higher fidelity. The main character looked completely different than he did in the game. But talking specifically about Assassin's Creed 2, this is the Deluxe Edition, which gives you almost everything. And I'll get into that later. It gives you the main DLC. It's the first of the Ezio trilogy. So no longer are we playing as the character Altair. No longer is it set in the time frame of the Crusades. It is now, as you will see, set in a more modern time, slightly more modern time in Venice, Italy, and the area. So it's a generation in that, at least one generation in that way, forward in time. So we never see Altair again, as far as I know. Maybe when we get down to Assassin's Creed 8 or 9, Altair will show up again. He's gone. He wasn't very much of a likable character anyways. Here's the intro. Let's watch this. I can probably already tell you, even though I'm seeing some graphics tearing, frame rate issues, I seriously doubt the game is going to look as good as this trailer. I seriously doubt even the most modern games would barely make this quality or number of AI characters on the screen. None of this, no courtesans there, was in the first game at all. Of course they wouldn't be. Why would there be courtesans in the Middle East during the Crusades? Way too much details, probably too much variety in the faces and clothing of the characters too. They make these trailers as an ambitious thing. I'm not sure fireworks ever show up in the game in this way. And there's Ezio, just seen for a second. Notice he slits his throat. As far as I know, there is no action in the game to actually slit somebody's throat, with your hidden blade in particular. It never has been used that way before. Now, see how he's fighting and defeating guards very fast. That was a major problem in the first game. You would get into these long parrying fights. He's running through these water areas. What is it called? I forget. Now, in the first game, you died if you touched water. You very well may still die. That's one of the famous landmarks, or a few of the famous landmarks there, that do show up in the game, but they certainly don't look as good as this. I'm not sure you even see somebody wear a mask during most of the game. Now, this is particularly ridiculous, how he broke the ground. That's like Dragon Ball Z stuff. Now, you do have senses, but you'll be playing from the first person perspective, and I believe you will have a gun that can shoot a tiny number of bullets, if I recall correctly. No mask breaking effects in the game. And there's the Templar cross, so we know that that's there. So they're promising a lot in quality and a few things in new features and new abilities. So before we start, this game was created on an updated Anvil game engine. It had 9 million copies sold. It originally had always on align DRM that was removed, which is ridiculous considering there's no multiplayer here. They don't get into the multiplayer until later, and then that becomes its own mess. The DLC was mostly included, but there's like a bonus skin that you had to go to the Verizon App Store to get, and I'm not sure you could get that. There's a but the Bonfires Battle of Forelli and the Bonfire of the Vanities are the actual storyline stuff that you would want in the game that's included with the Deluxe Edition. They were missing originally, so there was entire sections of the story that they just didn't have ready at the first time. And the worst thing, though, instead of spending their time on this, and this has got to just be my personal opinion, but I think it's right, they spent their time putting in the DRM, and they spent their time integrating Uplay. So you can't even play this game. If you buy it on Steam, you get a Uplay activation code. So hopefully you'll be able to see this Uplay interface when I hit this Shift F2 button. And there's some things, the way Uplay works, which is in my mind garbage. I've only played one other game on Uplay called Child of Light. You can only get these rewards by spending Uplay points, and the only way you can get Uplay points is by doing some small number of actions or achievements. So to start off with, here are the ones you can get. You can get Enter the Animus, Undertaker, Bleeding Effect, and Old Friend Returns, which I think these may all be story related, so you may get every single one of that, but that's 10 plus 30 plus 20 equals 30, plus another 30 is 60, plus another 40 is 100. So you're getting 100 reward points. To purchase this exclusive map, I had to spend 30. If I want to get the ulterior outfit, I'd have to spend another 30. To get an additional throwing knives, I would have to spend 20. So it's 60, 70, 80. And then to get the wallpaper was free. They were nice enough to give you the free thing. So you're spending almost everything you earn throughout the game just to get actual content in the game. The map certainly is actual content. The outfit is probably the same Verizon wireless Verizon App Store content, just resold. So you have to go in this other system. Because it's in Uplay, there are no Steam achievements. Because it's in Uplay, you have to launch a second program. It's really, really awful. And it's still there, and it's never going away. Maybe they'll come out with a remaster of the first 4 games, I would say, would be a good idea. Throw in that first game with Altier's story, and then the next 3 are the Ezio trilogy, and maybe they'll improve the graphics a little bit, improve the engine even if they could get away with that, and then they could take the Uplay out. This is where Ubisoft starts to become the Ubisoft that we unfortunately know today, the Ubisoft that makes somewhat good games and then repeats them over and over again. Notice this little mouse cursor looks kind of cool, but I'll put it off screen. So they'll make, nowadays Ubisoft makes games you want to play, and then they put some bit of problem in it. As far as the extras, there's this exclusive content where you'd have to have a code, which I imagine there's no codes there. And then there's this James Cameron's Avatar of the Game trailer that looks just awful. It's really, really bad looking. And it's forever in there. Nothing else really in extras. When we look at the spoken language, there is an interesting thing here. Since the characters are Italian, it would make a lot of sense for people And this is a feature that was very much requested, and I think they may have patched it in, or maybe it originally was in the game, I'm not sure. But I can see why a lot of people would want to hear the people who are Italian speak Italian. And I could do that, but then I would have to read all of the subtitles, and you would have to read all the subtitles, so I'm just going to leave everything as English, which is, I imagine, how most of the players are going to play the game. Subtitles will be on. Customized controls, you have to originally change it to the controller. It will default to a mouse and keyboard by default. And then graphics, it set up almost right. I have it at 1080p. I turned up everything else though, just to make sure it's at the maximum. I think multi-sampling was turned off by default. I think my graphics card in this modern day of 2016 should work, although I could be airing this footage actually in 2017. So that's all we really need to know so far. Let's begin Assassin's Creed 2 and see how it improved upon Assassin's Creed 1. It is worth pointing out, because there's no achievement system, there's no motivation for me to find all the collectibles. That means since I've played 1 and 2 before recording them, I would have played them on the Xbox 360 and then would have wanted to get all the achievements on that system. Here, no motivation at all. So unless I find something that unlocks by doing that, we will be having a pretty streamlined experience just focusing on the story. That's a lot of setup, so let's begin. This takes place, I believe, 5 seconds after the last game. I see no reason to change the name from Desmond. The main character in this game, and this, if you haven't seen Assassin's Creed 1, I'd highly recommend watching at least the first episode of my series on that. You're still playing as Desmond, so I don't see any reason why I would change that.
My name is Desmond Miles. I'm a prisoner of war. A war I never knew existed, waged by two groups I never thought were real. Templars and Assassins.
Already,
the anime showed me
you
the
can
truth.
see the graphics from the first game looks kind of dated compared to this
1,000
game.
years of history flowing through my veins, brought to life by this machine. They're using me to search for something. Call it the apple. It's an artifact, one of many so-called pieces of Eden. The Templars collect them. It's how they stay in power. And if the Templars get their hands on another one, everything will change. They want to make us all their slaves. When they first brought me here, I was afraid of what would happen if I tried to fight back. Now? Now I'm afraid of what will happen if I don't. But I can't do it alone. And maybe I don't have to. I met someone. Her name is Lucy. I think she's on my side. She's gone now. She's taken away by that bastard Warren Vidic and his Templar masters. I don't know what will happen to her, or what'll happen to me. All I know is I need to get out of here. And I need to do it soon. My name is Desmond Miles, and this is my story.
Soon is a really relative term here. So like 5 seconds after you found this secret scrawlings in with the eagle vision is where you go.
We have to go.
Lucy, where have you been? Why did they...
Now.
So you can already see the graphics are pretty well improved over the first game, but still very much not
Desmond?
into lines of a modern technology's graphics. Is she gonna put me in the Animus?
Get in.
What's with the blood? Are you okay?
Look, we have maybe 10 minutes, maybe, before they figure out what I've done. If we're not out of here and on the road before then...
Wait, we're leaving?
Desmond, I promise I'll answer all of your questions later. But right now, I need you to just shut up and do what I say. So please, get in the Animus.
All right.
She feels like a completely different character. She's in a completely different dress. She was in like a lab coat before. Now she's in jeans and a shirt. Strange. So if I put in a different name, would it say Desmond Miles there? So this is where the real story kind of starts, and they could have cut all the Desmond stuff out.
Spingi! Di nuovo.
Now, right now, you're seeing a memory of one ancestor giving birth to the next ancestor from a third-person perspective.
Oh, my love. Mi dispiace. I was at the bank when they told me. Did I miss it? Am I too late?
The baby's not crying.
Give him here.
Giovanni.
Shh, my love. It will be all right. Tu sei un auditore. Sei un combattente. Perciò, combatti.
So the subtitles are both in English and Italian there. Press the A button is what that's supposed to say to move your legs, but it's a leg in green. Press the B button to move your empty hand. And press the blue button to move your armed hand. And press the Y button to move your head.
Listen to him.
This is the puppet system that they introduced.
Call him, my love?
I'm not sure we
Ezio Auditore da Firenze.
I think they slightly tweak it over the years and move it to something more realistic.
Get up. Let's go.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna need a second.
There isn't time, Desmond. We have to leave.
So we're immediately escaping, which is nice because we were stuck in that room for the whole game.
Come on, Desmond.
Honestly, if I remember
getting out of here,
correctly, I thought they didn't escape
Sturgo's
until
got
the
some
end of
fucked
this
up
game.
interior decorators.
Stay close.
Hey! You're not supposed to be up here! Open this door! I'm calling it in.
We have a breach in the research wing. I repeat, there's been a breach in the research wing.
Follow me.
Requesting backup from all available security
walls.
personnel.
Fancy.
So I'm holding A trying to run.
There they are! Don't let them get
But
away!
it's not working. I'm still walking at an incredibly slow pace.
Holy shit!
If he was gonna walk this slow, they needed to have him like holding his head or
What are you
something.
doing, Desmond? Follow me.
You don't pick up any weapons. This is just walking through it. It's a really bad way to start a game. In fact, it's quite awful.
What about the cameras?
I rigged them to loop old footage. How do you think I managed to hide all your nighttime snooping from Abstergo?
So
They're good.
all
So I've
these
been told.
desks later
They're
on
on
get
to us now.
explained in
We need to hurry.
multiplayer as employees playing multiplayer. I assume
Careful.
that's in the next game, unless they cut out versus multiplayer in this game, which I don't think they did.
We need to get to that elevator on the other side of the room. Follow my lead, but keep an eye out for security. I'd rather avoid a fight.
This is not in the fashion of Assassin's Creed at all. Walking slowly, sneaking around. It's not how you escape guards.
Is that an animus?
Careful.
It's not really much of a spoiler to say they eventually... Wow, it takes the AI like 3 seconds to realize they have to fight each other. That's... The anvil
How many of
engine
them are there?
needed a lot more work by modern standards.
Wait.
Yeah, they eventually just
Animus
make a
6,
video game console of
Animai.
the Animus.
What do you think, Lucy?
And
Lucy?
everybody
handle
has
this.
one, pretty much. What's with the, like, white
do they need with all of
outline around her?
Desmond, shut the fuck up.
I'm, like, highlighting her. Completely different character here, too. She's acting totally different from the first game.
Fuck. I thought this card would work. It must be on a separate system, and I don't have the code.
Wait.
So he can see the finger marks using eagle vision. Still gonna take
How
a
did you
lot
do
of
that?
attempts.
I don't know.
Let's go. It's always something.
What was that in the Animus? Subject 16? Ezio Audi something?
I think we've been wrong all along. That's why we need to get out of here. Vidic and the Templars, they're only part of the problem.
What do you mean?
I'll explain when we get there.
Get where?
Synchronized turning around. I don't have... Okay, now I can punch. And it is a weird highlight system. That is way too bright. I guess you kind of need it, but not really. Whichever way you spin with your fist, which is all he's really doing. I'm taking on 3 guys here and not succeeding greatly. She took out her 2 guys and I barely took out 1. She's not helping. I think particularly in a cutscene like this, you shouldn't
Get in.
highlight them.
You're joking.
It's for your own protection.
Oh, man.
None of those guys had guns at all. This is really why the modern day Assassin's Creed falls apart, is you simply would never have the ability to run around the real world and not just assume that the bad guys wouldn't be able to shoot you as you're climbing around like a monkey. I think they may have
Thanks
tried
for
to
that.
solve
That
it
was great.
with a piece of
Shoving
Eden
the
that
trunk, bouncing around.
deflects
This way.
bullets. And
So,
I guess that
tell me
could
what's going on now?
work.
There was a reason for the escape, Desmond.
Figures.
We need your help.
For what? Another treasure hunt through time?
Abstergo's gonna replace their Apple of Eden. The map your ancestor found guarantees it. The other assassins, they'll do what they can, where they can, but
What? What is it?
we're losing this war, Desmond. The Templars are too powerful, and every day, more of us die.
I still don't see how I fit into things.
We're going to train you. Turn you into one of us.
What? No. No, you've seen me in action. I'm no good at this, and even if I was, it would take months. Years even.
No, not with the Animus. Not with the bleeding effect.
But I'm just one guy.
First time I've ever heard the
Sometimes
phrase
that's all
bleeding
you need.
effect.
So that's why you found him. My ancestor. What was his name? Ezio?
If you can follow in his footsteps, you'll learn everything he did, just like he did. Years of training, absorbed in a matter of days.
You broke me out of Abstergo and brought me here just to make me an assassin?
Start leaving.
Look, there's more to it than that, but it'll have to wait. Trust me, okay?
The smart move
All
in
right,
this
I'm
scenario
in. Tell me what
would
you
be
need.
to leave
Really?
and go
You're
underground.
I thought you'd be happy about this.
Sorry, I'm just a little surprised. I spent the whole ride over here figuring out how I was gonna convince you to do this.
Save it. After what those Templar bastards put me through, I'm ready, willing, and able.
No, he's not able.
Thank you.
He may be ready and willing, but he just spent a paragraph saying he wasn't able.
Lucy, you made it.
New characters.
God, it's been so long. 7 years, can you believe it?
Indeed. Welcome back. Ah, so this must be the infamous Subject 17. Desmond Miles, was it?
Who are you?
I'm sorry, where are my manners? I'm Sean Hastings. This is Rebecca Crane.
Nice to meet you, Desmond.
Right, well, it's been lovely chatting, but if you don't mind, Desmond, it's best we get straight to work. Time is precious. Doubly so these days.
We've got everything set up and ready, Lucy. Just say the word and we'll get going.
Here, I brought you something. A parting gift from Abstergo.
Whoa! The memory core! This is amazing. With their data, things are gonna go a lot faster. I'll get to work on merging the code.
So, they have their own Animus right here that looks way more developed. I mean, there was entire supercomputers under the original Animus. This thing seems to be connected by a few wires to less computers by far. There were computers all over the place in the original game. So how is their equipment better? I don't really know. I can press any button to talk to anybody.
What's all this stuff for?
This stuff, Desmond. Oh, this stuff is nothing special, really, this stuff. It's just the stuff that keeps our entire operation from falling apart, really. It requires a great deal of concentration to keep it all moving, so you'll forgive me if I don't have time to play meet and greet.
Sean's in charge of maintaining our knowledge archives. It's like a digital library. He'll be riding shotgun with me while you're in the Animus. So if you come across anything of note, people, places, events, etc., he'll create database entries you can consult for additional information.
How it's
it's not just
on
databases,
her skin.
though. I also provide tactical support for the other assassins. You know, Desmond, the ones who are out there, actually doing stuff, risking their lives, little things like that.
So basically all he does is in the start menu, there is going to be, at some point, just historical information in case you wanted to learn a few things. Of course, getting your historical information from this game is actually really a bad idea because it's historical fiction and you're going to pick up some bad information there. This is interesting setup of a TV system. What good way to just get a crick in your neck. Let's see. We can talk to her.
Hey, listen.
They literally
Just
haven't
wanted to
told
say
him what
thank
to
you.
do.
And that I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah, you know, before. Everything at Abstergo. It was just... I wasn't ready.
It's okay.
No. Going through all that. Knowing that the Templars still exist, what they're planning.
What's done is done, Desmond. You're here now, and that's what matters.
She looked like she wasn't even looking at me in the eyes. Maybe my character was standing here and then the animation moved me over here. Because she looked like she was looking over here. Like, what? That's weird. So...
Hey, Desmond. What's up?
Just wondering what your
See,
role is
notice
in all this.
the length of her hair just stuck on her neck.
Baby?
Not a good...
You mean the Animus?
Actually,
hair
I prefer
rendering.
Animus 2.0, since Baby's twice as awesome as anything you'll find at Abstergo. The Templars might have deeper pockets than us, but they've got no ambition, no passion, no competitive edge. That's why, even with all their resources, anything they can do, I can do better. Faster, too. Anyway, take a seat when you're ready, and we can get started. I just need to make a few more adjustments.
She's a weird one. Is there anything to interact with over here? Not really. And then we can walk around this area, which, much like the first game in the overworld, maybe these doors will unlock and open. Maybe they won't. Again, I cannot run. They just don't have a run animation for this guy. Can look out the window for what little that does or means. All this overworld stuff has proven itself to be pretty unnecessary. And how far can I get? Seems like you can get pretty far, but if I walk down here, I have to walk back. That's the worst possible outcome here. There's the car we started in. All of this stuff at some point must have been thought of as this would have been like a training ground where you could have run around and jumped up on things and done your parkour skills, but I don't believe you actually do any of that. Here's the car. Here's a van ready to be loaded down there. Again, the right move would be to steal a car and just leave and never come back. Their plan is not even very good. What's one highly skilled assassin even going to accomplish against a machine that can make entire groups of people hallucinate and follow the whims of the Templars? So, what am I supposed to do right now? We could interact with everybody a second time.
Sorry, can't talk now.
Hey, at least we know
Lucy, I've been
what
seeing
happens.
things. Symbols in my bedroom. The code on the keypad. Just like Altair.
They should have locked
From
me
the
in this
bleeding
room.
effect. You're taking on more than your ancestors' memories. You're taking on their skills, too. In this case, eagle vision.
Skills?
You're more receptive now. So if all goes well, everything Ezio learns in the Animus, you'll learn too.
You really think this will work? That I'll become an assassin?
You already are an assassin. You'll just be better at it.
Yeah, hopefully much better at it. I mean, seriously, I saw the tapes from Abstergo. He didn't even try and escape.
What a dick.
Is it really helpful to immediately establish one of the three main characters you're going to deal with as being a jerk? Really? I can't even use eagle vision right now. Oh, I can, actually. Oh, interesting. But would there be anything in this area to see? Probably not. So the bleeding effect is a new concept that I don't recall them mentioning at all in the first game. It would have made so much more sense for these doors to have been closed, and so I didn't waste all that time walking around.
Hello, Desmond. Go away.
So I'm supposed to just have conversations with, I suppose, Lucy. They should have put like a little indicator above her head. Make it a real video game. They're trying to make it so feel like it's the real world and get rid of UI. And all I've done is cause a mess and caused me to waste about 30 minutes at this point, and we still haven't even really started the game.
I really need to get this ready.
Yeah, it's just continuously have conversations with her.
Sorry, Desmond. I've got some stuff to take care of. We can talk more later.
Jeez, maybe I do need to wander around here in the eagle vision because I can't talk to anybody. It's really, really dark with the eagle vision. Really, really dark. And unless somebody has blood on their fingertips, it seems like I can't open these coded doorways. I'm not sure these doorways ever open. Let's take a walk over this direction and see if maybe there's something we see. somewhere. Again, I'm just wandering around. I have no idea what I'm supposed to do. It can't possibly be this hard. I've played this game before, but it was many, many years ago. Seems really, really silly. Did I not talk to this lady? Okay, finally. Maybe I just have to approach it from the side.
Of course.
Deep breath.
Ah! Oh, what are you, a tiny child?
Sean!
Well...
Wow.
Here we go.
So we're 35 minutes into this recording. And now we're actually starting the game. Still a problem. Welcome to the Animus Action Complete 10U on the overlay. Maybe you don't see the Uplay overlay, maybe you do. There's no way to turn it off, as far as I know. At least when you have other interfaces like Steam, or I think even the Xbox overlay stuff can turn off pop-ups that give you achievements and such. So, in comparison to the trailer, even this first cutscene has far less characters and far less graphic quality.
Insieme per la vittoria! Insieme! Insieme! Silenzio, my friends! Silenzio! Grazie.
Keep an eye on his face, because
Do you know what brings
Auditore had this cut on his lip exactly like
Viere de
Desmond's.
Pazzi slanders my family's name and forces his own miseries upon us.
And I
If we...
Enough of your nonsense, Grullo!
Buonasera, Viera. We were just talking about you. I'm surprised to see you here. I thought the Pazzi hired others to do their dirty work.
It's your family that cries for guards when there's trouble, Gottardo. Afraid to handle things yourself?
Your sister seemed quite satisfied with the handling I gave her earlier.
Uccidetelo!
kill him. Boys will be boys is our first action. Fight very deposit. So notice he just busted his lip. So we've already had a fight, and that was like a choke slam from wrestling. And we already had the punch, and none of that tutorial message stuff was shown. Again, I still can't run. I'm walking around. Press the X once per hit with the right timing to get a timed combo. So punch, punch, punch.
Hey! Behind you!
Federico! What are you doing here?
I wanted to see if baby brother had finally learned how to fight.
Oh. And?
You have style. But endurance is what counts. Let's see how many of them you can ruin before they get the best of you.
So, there's still a timing system here. You can grab people and throw them with the B button. Grab and then throw a couple on each other. It is slightly faster than how it was in the first game, but it's still quite a lot. They're showing these health bars that I don't recall the first game having health bars. It was more of a if you could get a killing move, you would kill them instantly, but you very rarely could.
Hold on.
What? We've almost won this.
Your lip.
Just a scratch.
Let the doctor decide.
It's not necessary. Besides, I've no money for this doctor of yours.
Wasted it on women and wine, huh?
I'd hardly call it wasted. Lend me some florins then. Or have you done the same?
Search them. There's bound to be something in their pockets.
So, it goes from assault to robbery. Press the right trigger on your current objective. Hold B button while standing over a dead body to loot. So there's 9 fiorins there. You can see my health is down to its lowest and it's not refilling. That's probably a story related reason for that. 110 fiorins. I need 200.
That should be enough. Let's get out of here before the guards arrive.
Get another 100 while I'm here. So that memory is synced. So now you have a lot of UI. We've gone from no UI to a lot of UI with a map in the lower right hand corner, the number of fiorins and what weapon I'm equipped to in the lower left hand corner, my health and my hidden status in the top left corner, and a helpful little marker as to whether I am in active mode or passive mode. Oh yeah, that's right. So I had forgotten how the controls work. You can run if you hold the right trigger. Otherwise you do walk here. Well, that's a major problem. It was like a couple of years, at least a year, between Assassin's Creed 1 and 2. And they didn't tell you just hold the right trigger at any point for that first 30 minutes to run. So it made the game incredibly slow. Here's our Animus interface, please talk to me thing. It's really obnoxious. But if they could do that here, why didn't they do that in the real world too? And break the storyline a little bit. And then press A to talk. I'm trying to press A to talk. Oh no, it's press Y to talk. Although it's showing a slightly greenish yellow there.
Hurry, Ezio. The sooner we're done with the doctor, the sooner we can sleep.
This game does eventually get there. We need to get out of this tutorial stuff. So now it's showing me how to sprint and free run.
Well, aren't you a funny monkey?
So you have to hold the right trigger and hold down A, which is quite cramp inducing. Which way is he going? This way.
Ben trovato, Doctor.
Fratelli Auditore. Why am I not surprised? You've made quite a mess of yourself, young man.
It's nothing, really.
You must help him.
It's
that
just a scar exactly like Desmond's, for some reason. It's kind of like the bleeding effect has a reverse effect of how you see the memories.
Get out of here.
Grazie.
Doctors access database. How do you access database? Back here. So doctors can heal you. They used to wear masks in the shape of beaks that they would stuff with strong smelling things in an effort to avoid the plague.
Wish they were all as much fun.
And other diseases.
Oh, wait, they are.
We should head home, Ezio. Father's sure to be wondering where we've gone.
Yes, and I'd rather avoid a lecture.
Up for a little race, then?
To where?
Roof of that church.
So, win the race against him to the roof of the church.
On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Baby brother still has much to learn.
I almost feel bad about this. Oh, no shame in failure, brother.
Was I supposed to follow a path? No.
Come on then, this way.
Where are you going?
You'll see.
Like, If there was actually supposed to be a race there, they put no checkpoints, they put no direction or guidance that I was supposed to walk that way. Notice if the shutters are closed, you can't climb up them. This is your standard Tetris puzzle of climbing that Assassin's Creed invented.
It is a good life we lead, brother.
Which face of the square can you climb up?
May it never change.
And may it never change us.
45 minutes into the game. That was all prologue. Way too slow. Way too slow to start a game. Fortunately, they kind of front load all the badness at the beginning.
We really should head home. Let's go.
Wait.
What? Ezio, let Christina sleep.
There will be time enough for that later.
So, Eagle Vision is apparently a skill anybody can learn, at least assassins can learn. Pay a surprise visit to the beautiful Christina Vespucci. So, we can synchronize. Might as well do it. Compared to the beginning of the first game, though, at least things start to make a little bit more sense. Because the first character, Altair, was a fully trained master assassin.
Better hide.
Keep looking! He couldn't have gotten far!
Look at that stained glass in the background. There's no way that that would just be there on the church on the ground floor where it could be broken. Social status icons identify the level of danger and position of your enemies. Hide from enemies in haystacks, wells, rooftop hutches, which are from the first game, and benches. So no new hiding spaces really. Now, there's actually less people on the streets right now than I feel like there was in the first game. This yellow marker, I assume, is supposed to be where I'm going. So, a little gentle pushing and is not even necessary. There are no water carriers or anything. Because it wouldn't make as much sense. Look how gray I am. Is there a reason for that? Or is it just messed up? Oh, no, you go gray when you're hidden. That's an interesting thought. So, normally, there would be like water carriers here that you would potentially knock over the water in the first game. That's just not going to be the case here. Here's another one of those stained glass frescoes things.
He'll hurt someone pulling stunts like that. Christina! Christina!
Who's there?
Me!
Oh, Ezio! I should have known.
May I come in?
Fine, but only for a minute.
A minute is all I need.
Indeed.
Well, wait. That came out wrong. Come here.
Oh, Ezio.
Press Y to interact. Actually, you didn't even have to do it. It did it automatically. Watch her face cut through his scarf. Press B to interact. Again, don't have to do it. I'm being forced into an interaction here. Press Y to interact. Again, did not hit the button. Why give me prompts? Why not just show me a cutscene?
Christina! Christina! Melia, your tutor will be here soon. Come, my daughter.
This feels like an old Italian English class.
I'll kill you!
No, that's not necessary.
Guards! Guards! Voglio la sua testa! Now!
There's really no need for violence.
Escape the guards. So now that people are after me,
confused with someone else.
I cannot hide.
Needed some help with some things. I'm mostly innocent.
I'm mostly innocent. So this is supposed to be a jump point, and yet
There he is.
it's not.
He's losing us. Ah, get the bastardo.
Anytime you see these the birds, that is an indicator that there's a hay bale below it. So much like the first game, once you get caught anywhere, you have to switch. There is a contextual camera. How can we do that? Apparently that comes on by itself. We get another thing for our database. We won't be jumping into the database every time we have. The doctors are now unlocked. Races are unlocked. Good, good, good. Select medicine. Press the right bump on the controller. Use medicine. I do not know how you would play this with a keyboard and mouse. They utilize every single button. Search and investigate. When losing sight of your guards will investigate your last known position. So the leaf bales, I suppose, are a new hiding space, but they're just hay bales, skinned to look differently. Pretty much, I would assume what the case is that you actually, they actually developed Assassin's Creed 2 while they were developing Assassin's Creed 1, and because of that, not a massive amount of things changed. Can I purchase things from this guy? Well, I could, if I had a massive amount of Florence, I could get upgrades to my pouches, and I could dye my clothes at some point. At a certain level, you can purchase these stores, I believe. Maybe that's the next game. They all blend together in my mind. So what's weird here is I don't know where the next story bit is. We can heal now, or we can buy medicine, which it's probably not a big issue to just buy 5 medicine right now, but I imagine eventually I'll find those things as I loot bad guys. Can I get to a map? Here we are. Memory start. And there's some synchronization things too. And that puts us in a weird point, doesn't it? It's like, let's get a view of the land, I suppose, before we go any further, because it may very easily become, we may go too far in the story and then never be able to access this area again. I don't think that's the case, but many a game has pulled that trick on me. So there's our synchronization point. The roofs already look a little bit different from the roofs of Damascus and Jerusalem and all the other two cities. What were they? I will have to kill myself at some point and jump in the water. I'm almost certain you die. When that happens, synchronize. The bird lands right into me, exactly like the first game. There's the synchronization point reached. So, right now, nobody's really after me. I'm not really an assassin. I'm not really in danger. So, it makes a lot of sense to try and fix things. There's a bank right here, which inside the bank there looks like some kind of prize to collect, but I'm not even at that point in the game where it would make sense. Plus I have no weapon. So any fight would be a very bad idea on my part. Climbing around should be alright, I guess. I mean, unless I run into a place full of guards with guns and arrows, which I might very well do. We're gonna fill up the database. So I'm making that decision right now to kind of waste some time to be better suited. I was hoping to jump on the ladder, but fortunately it allowed me to transition. It also allowed me to climb up the wrong way on that ladder. Yeah, this is gonna be an issue. I may also not have the ability to climb as high as I should. At a certain, in one of the games they give you like a hook thing, and that hook thing allows you to jump a little bit further, speeds up the climbing, and I'm not sure again which game it was. The problem particularly is that the Ezio trilogy is followed by, starts with Assassin's Creed 2, which is the numbered series, and then comes Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, and then comes Assassin's Creed Revelations, and then Assassin's Creed 3 comes out, and it's not Altair or Ezio, it's yet a third character, and pretty much for every numbered element there's a new character, at least one new character that you play as. Eventually, the latest one I believe has 2. So then it comes down to, we're in Florence, and like there's a codex page, which is some collectible. We may want to get those. There's races. Again, not really certain that I want to do any of those. It's really going to become this evaluation as far as how far do I want to go before I move the story forward even a little bit. And I imagine the answer is I shouldn't even be doing this much without a weapon, because there is that danger. How do I get on this building? This like giant one here, I don't think you can quite get on that. And if I just jump out, I would die. It might actually be very difficult to get up some of these ones. So you have scholars here that are carrying books instead of the water carriers, I would guess. That's the trick there. So right at this door, there are ledges. The way this engine works is kind of amazing. It mostly is set by just random random calculations as to whether you can grab on a ledge or not. Instead of them hand programming that you can climb up a ledge, they instead 3D render the graphics, and the graphics engine itself also puts in the distance, so it thinks to itself, is this a grabbable ledge or not? At least a lot of it is done that way. Yeah, I don't think I can get up here. I'm not seeing anything to grab onto. And now I'm kind of too high up to survive a jump. There's obviously a specific point they want us to go to. There we go. So now I'm hoping that this jump gets me high enough so that I actually can get up all the way to the top. So these recordings are going to be an hour long with any luck and persistence at not being 100% obsessive. I will, of course, want to see all of the map. That doesn't mean I want to actually do all of the map. We haven't been really introduced to like a XP system. I don't know if synchronization is going to really increase my health any or anything like that. Interesting. That's certainly something new. The money system actually is brand new for this game. There was no money in Assassin's Creed 1 at all. Being inside a building is definitely a new concept. Having windows that are half missing is kind of a new concept too. So that is quite a different way to climb a building. Maybe you could have climbed that from the outside, but maybe you couldn't have. And that was a rather tall climb, too. And it puts us in a pretty good position. So we really haven't started the game still. We just now have been reminded of the most basic of things. The holding the right trigger. Notice the mouse is all in the wrong place. I don't want the mouse way over the map. I keep putting the mouse in the corner with a lot of games, and it seems to always want to come back. So, like, there's a synchronization point here, synchronization point here, synchronization point here. After we do all of that, we'll move the story forward, and then I imagine we'll want to do the race and the codex. A lot of icons here are not exactly the right way. Notice you can also zoom out and make weird sound. But there's a legend. I'm trying to figure out which button moves the legend around. The pause menu is different, by the way, and we're in DNA sequence. The DNA sequence animation here is way different than what it was before. I prefer the previous one. Our inventory is a whole new system we haven't even touched upon. The database stuff, and like, I guess if we really needed more help, the user manual is hidden down here. They should have told us that. The options, by the way, I think those might be a little different too. There's no audio in the main game. Or half of these things are missing. Like, when we first started, there was no audio adjustment. There was no brightness adjustments, no blood. Subtitles was an option. Controls are completely different here than at the beginning of the game. Graphics are the same. HUD was completely missing. So you would have to get at least this far in the game to even figure out how to play the game the way you actually wanted to play it, which is just ridiculous. Why are these not in the main part? And I still don't know how to adjust the legend. Let's see. Is it the Y button? The buttons aren't labeled correctly at all. And it's not the X button. See, all these doctors and blacksmiths and stuff, it would be very helpful to toggle those on and off, and I think there's a way. I just can't figure it out because the buttons aren't labeled correctly. Like, the mouse works, so I could sit here and say, if I don't want the tailors on. No, I can't actually turn it off. Interesting. So, for the keyboard version of this, it seems like you would want to use the mouse to see the legend until you can figure out what button that is. Oh, it's the right bump. Okay, and then the left bump. There we go. So if I wanted to turn off markers like all these, then the map gets a lot easier to see. These are the real things that matter. But you kind of are probably going to have them all on anyways. Anyways, we've been going longer than I said we were going to be going. That's going to be it for this recording. As always, I end my episodes the same way. I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment if you want to, and watch every second of my videos. All that helps me out. If you want to support me even further than that, you can click on my name, Rydo. That'll take you to my main YouTube page. On the right is a blue button that says support this channel. You can click that and make a donation. Also on my main YouTube page is my playlist tab. You can click that and see a playlist for every game I've ever covered, including Assassin's Creed 1 for comparison's sake. So I would recommend checking that out if you haven't seen it. Then down below in the description box I have links to Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, Google+, Steam, and Battle.net. So please follow and friend me on all of those services. That helps me out with those services, and it helps you see when my newest videos are available. And finally, I always like to wrap up saying thank you for watching and have a good evening. So thank you for watching. Have a good evening.